You know, when kids are involved, it kind of makes you feel just sad, you know. Like, you know, they're telling these people whatever, if it's guaranteed, if it's black kids that are involved, they're telling them that I'm a racist. When it's I'm talking about the environment that was just at. You guys know where I was at. There, right? When it's a husband and wife, he's a wife beater. You know, whatever the case may be. Even though they can look up your record if they want, and if you look up my record from 2004 and before, well, I look like one freaking angry dude, man. You know, because when you try to steal something and it doesn't work out, and then you run from the cops, well, yeah, they beat your ass. Okay, they beat your ass, and then they charge you with what they did to you. But I accepted it because I did my, you know, I was thinking about this too. There's 3 different times that I'm getting ready to go through some major trial and tribulation for a year and a half. And the first time was 2004, October 28th, 2004, up until May 19th, 2006, when I sat in jail for literally stealing a car radio. However, I didn't want to get caught by the cops, so I ran, and then, well, they beat the piss out of me, and I still got away. But the next day I got caught, because the cops see it. They said, "Take your hat off, son." And they look and see all these lumps on my head, so I just am still permanent. Like, hey, put your hands behind you. Come on, come with me. I'm like, ah, crap, I'm caught. But you know, I was trying to steal a car radio out of a truck, and I didn't even need to either. I didn't even need to. I did well working, and I didn't need to steal, but I grew up that way. So, but anyway, so when you look up my record, well, you'll see 14 years ago is the last time that I did anything wrong. And I was like 28, somewhere around there. But I did my time. I did a year and a half in jail. A year and a half. After the 3rd day of being in there is when I turned to God, because I woke up out of my coma. And again, I repeat myself a lot because because I keep getting subscribers. Even though I'm not getting the click count, I know they're still watching either way. And if not, there's always somebody new every single day that has a chance to watch my video. And I know not everybody goes through the videos from before. They kind of just listen to what you're doing now. Or I might scare people off, one or the other. So that year and a half period I went through to get myself straightened up, turn to God, and stop with this freaking nonsense. And if I didn't, well, hey, maybe I would have been a citizen on patrol. What do you think? And then the recent one, oh wait a minute, what is it? Is this the sign, guys? Get used to this sign right here. This one here, okay? You're gonna see it in a lot of your pictures. Alright? I'm just letting you know now. You're gonna see it in a lot of your pictures. If you want to ask to take a picture, fine. If you want my autograph, no problem. Just ask. If you want to try to be sneaky about it, you're getting this. All right. My work situation a couple years ago, the David and Goliath story that I had, where the guy was trying to set me up, trying to get me or is it this one here? Trying to get me poking holes in my pipes. You know, even one of my boss's own silent partners, he you know, I can tell. All right, I just know. I know when I'm trying to get set up, people are trying to set me up. It's so damn obvious. And the proof is, after that year and a half of doing these apartments with that guy David, and me representing spiritually the Goliath, constantly trying to make me fail my business, you know, just trying to manage people and get the job done. It was tough, I'll tell you. When your boss isn't paying you on time and is not paying the subcontractors, and then you can't pay the people that you're trying to manage, and everybody's complaining, and on top of that, the maintenance manager's poking holes in your pipes the day before move-ins, just made my job very difficult. It was very challenging. I never missed a move-in date, even though that was the goal. The goal was to get me to fail. Literally for a year and a half. The very first apartment was the only apartment that we all agreed on, and everything worked out fine. The next 120, 119, not so much. Just very difficult. Because when you have to do your homework and you have to write everything down, and the materials that aren't ordered and the stuff that he said was there isn't there, and then poking holes in your pipes and leaking downstairs to the apartments below you, going in the day before that they have to move in, to fixing the number one, you gotta cut the drywall out, you gotta replace it, you gotta fix the pipe, you gotta spackle it all over again, you gotta paint it, you gotta get the painter in there. No matter what they're doing, it was a constant harassment, constantly harassed, day in and day out. And on top of that, trying to run another job when this guy keeps calling you, "Hey Robin," it's David. "Yeah, hey Dave, how's it going?" "Oh, very well. Listen, we seem to have a problem. You know, one of you guys, I think they put a screw in your pipe and it leaked downstairs." "Oh, really, Dave? Yeah, you don't happen to know anything about that, do you?" "Nah, like I said, I think you need to keep a close eye on your guys, all right? Don't keep a close eye on me. Just over there, all right?" "Yeah, Dave, I'll be right there to frickin' fix your mistakes that you purposely poked, all right? I'll be right there. Thanks." Shit. Never had any good feelings about the guy. Number one, he was extremely heavy, lazy. Telling his guys to go do this, that, and the other, while he just sits down and... Needless to say, I'll make this long story very short, because I've already told this before, but I'm just giving a synopsis of the outcome of everything. 9 pages of facts to the vice president of the company. Here's my proof that this guy is not doing his job, and he's purposely trying to sabotage my work. I'll prove it to you. Here, I'm out. Call me when he's gone. 3 months later or so, they fired him. They fired him because they watched his ordering habits and patterns and tactics, and I had everything already. God already prepared me for this, man, is what I'm trying to say. I've been absolutely prepared. This is the third time's a charm. Now, they fired him. I came back, did some work, shook the hands of the maintenance guys, Told them before that if anybody gets fired here, it's going to be your boss. It ain't going to be me, but I'm out. And so these 9 pages, the first page, opening statement, the next 7 pages of nothing but facts, and then the 9th page was my closing argument. Just like a lawyer would do. Presenting his case in front of the judge. That's what I did. My case is in front of God every single time. It always comes through and works out. So he got fired. I came back, shook the hands, said, hey, I told you. Right? I told you. Told you so. I'm not the guy that says I told you so, but I have to tell you, I told you so. And I knew the one guy was poking holes in my pipes. I knew that he was doing Dave's dirty work. I forgave him for it. I even forgive the guy Dave for doing it. I even forgive my cousin Josh, who snitched on me, by the way, and said that I was with him and robbed this house that him and this other guy I never even met in my life robbed, and it was a $30,000 restitution. So if he snitches on me and the other guy, well, it's only $10,000. He never did a day of jail. He got straight out on work release. Meanwhile, I did a year and a half. I forgave him for snitching on me because, you know, that bill, well, hey, it goes to collection, right? So there's that. I didn't rob that house. When before I got locked up, I was taking, stealing, okay? Just petty theft, basically, is what I was really doing. You know, like what they're doing now, the petty theft. Because I wasn't following God's law. Even though I believed in God, I just wasn't following it. So I understand how these gang stalkers work. It's not that everybody doesn't believe in God, they're just not following His law. They're just not paying attention to Him. Until you get slapped upside your head, you're just going to be an idiot. So they charged me up with all these burglaries. I didn't know it was a burglary if you steal from a job as you're working on the house that nobody lives in at that moment because it's new construction. I didn't know they would charge you with burglary. I mean, come on. For stealing a microwave? So, all those charges, they just piled up, the case after case, at 4 different cases all at once. I had to sit in jail not knowing when the hell I'm getting out, thinking I'm doing at least a 5 to 10 for 1 year each for 5 counts of aggravated assault on 5 police officers, F1 felonies. Thank God for God, you know, or else I would probably still be in there. I don't know. Who knows? Or I would have just gotten out like 4 years ago, you know, instead of 14 or 12. Yeah, 12 and a half. So anyway, back to this year and a half ordeal. That's the second exact year and a half. Here we are again. I started April 9th, 2017. April 9th, 2017. On YouTube. Starting out with videos of Bowie Merlin, my dog. That's his name. And then it just escalated into I'm kind of sick of everybody lying to me. You know, it's annoying. Not knowing anything about gang stalking, not knowing anything about target individuals, not knowing anything about, you know, gematria, or anything about anybody that is trying to steer me away from the truth. But then once you start looking into things, you realize, oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they probably told those kids that I'm a racist. I get it. That's why they're walking back and forth looking at me hardcore, like cracker. Like, look, man, I love all you guys. I understand that I was kind of just like you at one time, lost. And so, okay, coming up April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Coming up October 9th. It'll be exactly a year and a half. As you know, or as some people might know, I'm looking towards October as being a very significant time frame. Not only because Harold Camping warned us exactly 7 years ago when October 21st comes around, and on top of that, May 21st, 2011, that we were warned about judgment coming upon the earth, just like the Ninevites were warned that they have 40 days to repent. You know, we're gonna see it's the only sign that we're given. Think about it. But people don't even know who Harold Camping is, or if you heard of him and you say, false prophet. Well, go watch some of just look at my playlist there. Just listen to his teaching, if you don't mind. And you'll hear, well, okay, yeah, hey, look, the guy set a date, and obviously we're all still here, right? But here's the thing. October 21st, 2011, from May 21st, 2011 to October 21st, 2011 is 153 days exactly, 5-month period. And I'm telling you, that 5-month period where those scorpions were stinging the men that didn't have the seal of God in their forehead already happened. What they are doing now is 7 years behind. The world is 7 years blind. 7 years. Everybody's looking for the peace treaty. As soon as that peace treaty happens, we got 7 years from this point on. Israeli News Live guy was talking about they're getting ready to sign a 7-year war plan or some shit like that. Everything is to keep you from being ahead of the game. The reason why I laugh in the face of these clowns is, and that's one of, it's funny because that was a word that I've used many years, is that people are clowns to me too. So when I look out into the world and I see that these people are literally looking for the same thing that I was looking for 7 years ago, but they have no clue that it already happened. That part there alone makes me feel ecstatic inside, because I'm seeing the Bible unfold in my own life, verse by verse, actually, mainly in Daniel, where Daniel, he just had this ability that God gave him to be able to discern and interpret dreams and visions. I mean, there's always somebody in the Bible that he's given this ability to, and he's given the same ability to people these days now to do the same exact thing. It's not just one person that he's doing it for. At least I don't think so. So I foresee, okay, the unraveling of the scriptures. And when people don't believe the Bible, but they still have a good heart, well, I take that as the same as, I believe it's those for the rest in Thyatira, I think, the body of Christ, the church. I have no other burden to put upon you, because they don't know the depths of Satan. They don't have this doctrine, and they don't know the depths of Satan. So God has no other burden to put upon you. It's not that you're being condemned, like, you don't believe the Bible? What's wrong with you? You're going to go to hell. You're going to burn for an eternity. No, you're not. No, you're not, man. You're just gonna see with your own eyes when it happens. That's all. That's all it is. And you're gonna turn to God a little bit more than you might have thought of before. Just like Pharaoh, letting my people go. I just read that this morning. Exodus chapter 10. I believe it starts there. And I was thinking about last night. I wonder if, I have a feeling that Moses went to him probably 7 times. I didn't have any facts about it because I remember reading a long time ago. It was annoying to me that because it's like why is this dude? It's like he's gonna let you go and then he doesn't. It's because God's hardened his heart. Don't you know that? I might be jumping around here, but I want to catch it while the thought is in my head. Don't you know that Moses went to him the first time with the plagues? It was first time we put the plagues on the cattle, right? And they all died, and none of the cattle of Israel's got touched at all. All right, that's sign number one. The next one was boils, right? The next one was hail. The next one was locusts. All right, 4 times. The next one was darkness, the 5th time. And then it talks about 3 days of darkness after the 5th day. So I'm saying here after the 5th day. And then the 6th plague was the death of the firstborn. And then the 7th, well, that was the feast of unleavened bread. That was the first Passover. The first Passover. 7, the first Passover. And then it talks about 7 days of not eating unleavened bread, I believe it is. So, and then it also talks about the first month and the 14th day of the first month up until the 21st day of the first month. Now, I don't know which month is which. Who can even tell anymore? But when it talks about 7 days, and it talks about the 14th day and the 21st day, and I'm looking at October 14th as being the beginning of the ending. The beginning of the ending. And then the end, and then there's the new. So it's like it's the beginning of the end and then the end of the beginning. The first 7 days and then 7 days after. Because there's going to be this 3.5 days of darkness, or 3 days. 3.5 days of partying, and then after 3.5 days, the breath of life goes back into the witnesses, which to me represents just everybody who has the Holy Spirit inside of their body. 1 person, 2 witnesses. I'm 1 person, 2 witnesses. So after 3.5 days, there's going to be party time. The elites, they're gonna yuck it up. They're gonna yuck. Oh, popping Cristal and popping champagne bottles and whatnot. But see, there's always a prolonging with God. He will test you to the extreme until you are drained to see if you're going to give up. Are you going to give up? Now, going back to October, and talking about a 7-year tribulation period. If anybody thinks that we are getting ready to go into tribulation and we haven't already been in it, look, I'm sorry to tell you, but open your eyes up. Open your spiritual eye up a little bit more and look around you. Maybe you're just not being maybe you're just not awake to the fact, the reality that this targeting is now becoming more overt instead of covert. At least in my situation, they're making it as obvious as possible. And hey, so am I. I'm letting them know how obvious they are. That's all. And if I get a chance to talk to any of them, I will. Whether it's on camera or not on camera. So, because they're actually afraid of you. That's the thing. That's what the elite did. They made them to be afraid of you because they're lying about you. They're making you out to be, I don't know, whether it's a rapist or a child molester or a racist or a animal beater or whatever it is. They're going to lie to that person, to that neighbor, and tell them a different story and get them to hate you. They're going to hate you, but they're also going to be like, oh, wait, Like the one guy in Wawa when I was staring him down because it was so obvious. And he goes to the counter and puts a switchblade on the counter, like with, you know, the mullet hair guy. Come on, man, what are you doing, dude? You're the one stalking me, clown. So back to the 7-year tribulation period. I don't know. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. This is the only place that it talks about. It doesn't say 7 years, but it talks about 1 week, and in the midst of the week. Daniel 9:27. Everybody says that this is Satan, the Antichrist, where he will make a covenant with many he will make a covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week. A lot of people translate it middle. In the midst of the week, okay? To me, it's being in the thick of things, in the midst of it, at the height of in the midst of the destruction, okay? All right, so if you want to go and say that's 7 years, fine. 1 week is 7 years, okay. And then he makes a covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week, he causes the prayers of the oblation of the sacrifice of the oblation to cease for the overspreading of abomination. Now, this is the part that makes no sense to me. If he is Satan and not God, and he causes the prayers to cease, okay, how the hell can Satan cause you to stop praying? Think about it. If he is Satan and he causes the prayers to cease in the midst of the week, in the middle of the week, all right, fine, people are going to look at the middle of the week as being halfway through halfway through the 7 years, as 1 week. I'm looking at it as a literal week. 1 week talking about 7 years, and then the other week talking about the final week. And in the midst of the week is the height of destruction. And he is not Satan, because he doesn't cause you to stop praying. He causes you to pray more. So if he causes the prayers to cease because of a peace treaty, right? Well, then won't you start praying more to God? Because you know that for when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction, why would you stop praying? Why would Satan cause you to stop praying? Only God can cause you to stop praying. You know why? Because, yeah, it's over, right? It's over. Not over, over. When God is finished with the salvation plan, however that happens, I don't know, man. I don't know how he's going to do it. I just know he will. I know he will. He promised that he would, right? Do you not believe the Bible? If not, well, then you're not going to have faith. If you do believe the Bible, well, then you're going to be laughing at these people like, oh my God, that's a damn shame. Damn shame. So God, to me, is the only one that can cause the prayers to cease in the thick of the final week of all this destruction, at the very height of destruction, in the midst of the destruction. My opinion is that he will cause the prayers to cease, because that's the end of salvation. And everybody else who's left behind, well, you know there's going to be a 7-day period of deception, mimicking God. Coming with the clouds. Yeah, they're real. Coming with the clouds. You think this is really God coming with the clouds? Or is it man-made coming with the clouds? Chicken Little was right. The sky is falling. It's so damn low. You know, certain times you can just feel like you could just throw a baseball at it and graze it, or a football, one or the other. So in that middle of the week, Do you think it's in the middle of 1 week, which is 7 years and 3.5 years, and then Satan's going to cause the prayers to cease? How does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. Never has. And everybody, I don't know one person yet that is saying, no, that's God. That's God that you're talking about. Am I that damn deceived? I don't know. I don't think so. But again, I will constantly bring this up. April 7th is the beginning of Wars and Rumors of Wars. Just go down to my video below. A while back, I try to keep it to around 100 videos. That's why I kind of get rid of some videos that aren't being watched anymore. I foreseen ahead of time. Oh, okay, so you got 1,290 days since the abomination was desolation was set up in September 25th, 2014. 1,290 days from that point on. That's April 7th. What's going to happen on April 7th? A war is going to start this year. The war that's going to start talking about wars and rumors of wars. I went back to that video and looked at the comment section. A typical CIA agent. No, it's old news, Robin. This has been happening all the time. Yeah, right. Then why is it that peace and safety happened not even 3 weeks later? 2 weeks and 6 days later. 1 day before I said, what's going to happen on April 28th? Peace and safety? I can have that video to prove it too. And I talked about why I thought that way. It was 1 day before in North Korea, South Korea, and then all of a sudden Trump's talking peace, safety there. It's just non-stop. Yeah, keep suppressing the truth, man. Good luck with your journey, all right? So there's going to be this war and rumors of wars it started on April 7th, 2018, this year. And this is why this peace treaty talk, safety and all that is going to happen on, wait a minute, 9/25, 2018, exactly 4 years later. Did I just think of that now? I think I said that before. I don't know, but that's pretty funny. 9/25, okay. Trump's gonna peace and safety. So is it that he is gonna cause the prayers to cease? Because we're gonna be like, oh, thank God, you answered our prayers. We don't have to pray to you anymore, God. See ya. Yeah, that makes absolute no sense. So he is going to cause the prayers to cease, right? Okay. Yeah, keep believing that. 9/25, September 20.